Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here on ZLN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the, oh, excuse me, my fault. Um, this is not any game analysis we're going to be talking about. I get used to doing post game analysis. But this time around, we're going to be talking about the Lakers and the whole Darvin Ham situation that we had to deal with when it comes to the um, the reports that just came out when it comes down to it, according to Charania and Jovan Buha of the Athletic. Basically, the reports are being out there that there's some a bit of riff, if you will, or disconnect of Darvin Ham and the Lakers locker room. And these reports usually don't really come in the sense that it's not a big deal, but if it's coming from Shams Charania and the Athletic, then this is honestly some big news that is going to potentially be part of the NBA season for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes down to it. And basically, guys, I mean, it is a tough situation that we are dealing with at this particular moment when it comes down to it. I personally think that the Lakers at this point and Darvin Ham are in trouble at the moment. I mean, um, there's some trouble in the horizon when it comes to how Darvin Ham is coaching the team, and the rotations obviously has been a huge problem when it comes to this team. And now the Lakers are under 500 um, after losing um, yesterday, and now they are 17 and 18 as their record. And if it just continues to be this type of trajectory of where we're at, then I think the Lakers at this point are going to be looking for potential future candidates for head coaching jobs. Now, are they going to look for one right away, or if they're even going to do it? Uh, Stay tuned. I really appreciate all of you for joining me on this live stream. And usually I, you know, talk about Lakers post game analysis when I go live. But this one in particular, really, I had to come on here and really talk about the Lakers and Darvin Ham's situation and him being on the hot seat now after falling to 500. And more than ever, there's a lot of huge indication that his job is on the line at this particular moment when it comes down to it. And I want to get into all my thoughts and opinions, but before anything, like always, please be sure to um, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and please comment in this live stream and give me your thoughts about the Lakers um, and their situation that they're dealing with at the moment. I personally think that now there's going to be some serious job indications of what Darvin Ham's future will be now moving forward. And, if Jovan Buha and Shams Charania is reporting this potential report that could potentially go down, then that just tells you that it is big news when it comes down to it. So, and I'm going to give you guys a scenario of who the Lakers should potentially pursue to maybe replace Darvin Ham, but I don't see a coaching change happening very, very soon. If anything, if somehow Darvin Ham does get fired, I think Phil Handy is going to be the guy that's going to be um, the replacement for Darvin Ham when it comes down to it. So, um, but we can talk about more about this Lakers situation when it comes to Darvin Ham and him showing a lot of disconnect to the Lakers locker room. And that alone tells you that the Lakers at this particular moment are not showing appreciation, and I guess the type of respect and that they're giving to Darvin Ham now because of the frustrations since the NBA in-season tournament. It's just a bad situation now where the Lakers are at because of it. So there's a lot of talks, we can honestly say, when it comes down to it. I mean, just the reports alone. I mean, it is a tough situation that, Darvin Ham has to deal with at the moment. And, obviously Lakers management are going to be looking at Darvin Ham's and his coaching skills and him connecting with the team because of the reports that are coming out. And obviously he needs to fix it. And, most of that honestly has to do with what, his coaching and his rotation and him putting 10 different lineups so far this season. And it's been a roller coaster. And since the NBA in-season tournament, none of the teams or the players really are showing a lot of energy, a lot of commitment, and just a lack of, motivation to win games, and since then. And it's just been tough that the Lakers at this particular moment are a team with a lot of expectations. I mean, this is the team that are showing that they are a team that can obviously compete in the NBA Western Conference, compete. I mean, and they showed it. They showed it in the NBA in-season tournament. I mean, they were capable of beating some really good teams in the Western Conference, and especially top ones like the Phoenix Suns, and you make the argument that the New Orleans Pelicans, and it just shows you that this team has all the capabilities in the world to compete in the NBA. And it's just sad at this particular moment of where the Lakers are at when it comes down to it. And here's a question that I want to have you guys answer, and I think it's on the minds of everyone here. Which coaching candidate should the Lakers target to replace Darvin Ham? Now, I'm going to leave this throughout this live stream, so you guys, for those of you who are joining me, give me your thoughts and who do you think Lakers should replace. Like I said, at this moment, it's a report that's out there, according to Champs Charania and The Athletic. But knowing the Lakers and how Darvin Ham has done so far as a head coach for the Lakers, last year reaching the Western Conference and winning us the first ever in-season tournament cup. There's some speculations that maybe Darvin Ham could potentially get fired at the end of the season, but you never know. Things may get better once the trade deadline approaches, but at this particular moment, I still don't see the Lakers, firing Darvin Ham at the moment. But at this particular moment, there's conversations and talks, and I won't be surprised if the Lakers do pull the trigger on it, to trade or no, excuse me, fire Darvin Ham when it comes down to it. If it continues to be a downward spiral for the Lakers when it comes to not winning games, especially the month of January, where it's honestly one of the easiest schedules for the Lakers to get some wins under their belt. When they do play better at home than they do in away games. So this is just another type of situation where, things may happen. You never know. Anything could happen when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. They could keep Darvin Ham, or they could potentially fire him if it continues to be a trouble season for the Lakers. If their goal is for them to reach the NBA finals or compete against the Western Conference. So this is just another type of scenario where I think the Lakers at this moment are have to deal with the situation and find some better team chemistry if they have to go find a new head coach now. And it's just a whole different scenario. And I have a couple of names in mind that maybe the Lakers will potentially pursue to replace. But like I said, I don't see the Lakers doing it. But, if it continues to be a bad scenario where we're at, then I think the Lakers will potentially either have Phil Handy step in and then just wait until next season to hire a new head coach. Then it's just a whole different type of scenario there that maybe the Lakers will look at if they do fire Darvin Ham mid-season. So, but there's a couple of names. Obviously, number one guy comes to mind is Phil Handy. Phil Handy is a guy that honestly deserves to be a head coach in this league. Now, are we going to go to another scenario that we did with Darvin Ham in the hiring process, a first-year head coach, and just that type of scenario? I don't see the Lakers doing that. Maybe they'll just bring in Phil Handy to just fill in Darvin Ham's for the rest of the season, and then they'll just go find a new head coach. But I like Phil Handy, just the way he's a good development type of coach. We saw what he's done so far throughout his career as an assistant. Obviously, coaching the Lakers in the past when Kobe was around, and obviously LeBron with Cleveland and Kawhi with the Toronto Raptors, and now with the Lakers. I mean, he's a respectable assistant coach. I mean, he's a 3-time champion. I mean, as an assistant. So, his resume shows that he knows how to develop players and the rookies. And, it's been showing, especially when it comes to players like Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt, who were newbies coming to the Lakers. So we saw that how he was with them over the summer. And it really worked out at the end. Even though we did not see a lot of production out of them, because some of it had to do with them being injured, for sure. But at the same time, the developments, he's well known throughout his career as a good assistant coach for any team that he was on, and he's a 3-time champion as an assistant coach for a reason. So his resume really speaks for himself, and he deserves a head coaching job for sure. So the second guy that I can honestly say that's mainly number one, in my opinion, if the Lakers are not going to stick with Phil Handy as a head coach for next season, if they do fire Darvin Ham, it is Doc Rivers. Now, I know some of you may say, Doc Rivers is not the guy that the Lakers should potentially pursue because he is just not the right fit. And, he's, his time as a head coach is run out. I mean, and most of the time when he's fighting for playoff contention, he's always eliminated within the semi or the second round of the playoffs, or, he's always, falls under the pressure when it comes to playoffs. But, he is a former, NBA coach, coach of the year, and won a championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics. So, he has a resume on him, and he has pretty good winning records as a head coach. But at the same time, will things change for him if he's part of the Los Angeles Lakers and coaching LeBron? It could be a possibility. And, I have to say, if he's in a whole different atmosphere and, with the Lakers organization and LeBron on this team, then maybe things will turn out better for Doc Rivers. But, it's just me. I think that, when it comes down to it, he is a type of candidate and a type of coach that I think most players will, embrace when it comes to his leadership. Because for some reason, Darvin Ham really lost because the whole part of this live stream and the whole reports that's out there is that he lost a lot of disconnect with the Lakers locker room. So that's a huge problem right there for a head coach going into um, this season. And we're only in mid-season. I mean, that's the sad part. And this is the second year as a head coach. So when you lose the locker room, you obviously are not going to win games. You're not going to have a lot of motivation for the team to play better. So I mean, and the fact that LeBron had to leave the arena and not meet the press last game, that just tells you right there alone that the emotions on LeBron and his frustration is going to play a big role of replacing potentially Darvin Ham as the head coach. I mean, that's the only solution unless a trade happens, which obviously the Lakers cannot make a trade yet until you know Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves are available for trades. And even that, you don't see a lot of trades happening in January. I mean, we saw, of course, from the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors, but it's just one of those type of situations where Lakers just have to wait. They have to wait until February to make a trade happen. And so far, that's going to be the circumstances of what the Lakers have to deal with. And, you know, and like I said, if you are going to fire Darvin Ham, it's going to be very weird to find a new head coach right away to fill in the role as head coach and learn the players and how they play and what's the system is and the chemistry of the team. And just it's hard to find that type of head coach right away. That's why I think Phil Handy is going to be the guy to replace Darvin Ham as just a temporary head coach for the team. And that's going to be the circumstances of what the Lakers have to deal with if they do decide to fire Darvin Ham as the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. It just seems that type of scenario where I think the Lakers were going to do. I mean, they could just find one right away. I mean, they probably have someone in mind, maybe a Doc Rivers, as I said, or maybe Mike Budenholzer, who's obviously not coaching at the moment, and he's basically at home, not doing nothing. So he could potentially be a potential replacement. There's also Mark Jackson, but Mark Jackson has been available for so many job opportunities, and not a lot of teams give him a lot of opportunities. I mean, as much as I liked, Mark Jackson, the way he developed the Golden State Warriors for them to become a total franchise legacy type of team that they are, with the championships that they have accomplished because of him, because he was he was the foundation of that team, then maybe he could be a guy in consideration for it. But it's just this particular moment. Those are the top top coaches that I think are potential candidates for the job. If you guys have any thoughts and opinions about it, please comment in this live stream and give me your thoughts about it. I mean, it's just one of those type of moments where I don't see the Lakers doing it, but if it continues to be this type of trajectory of how this team is not winning games and they continue to lose games, and and especially at home, and with the type of schedule that they have in January, where I personally think is a easy schedule, then if they continue to lose games, then don't be surprised if they fire him. Because a lot of indications are out there that, and if, like I said, if Shams Charania is reporting this, and Shams Charania is a guy that doesn't really, when he reports something, he's not a guy that just reports something just off of opinion. I mean, he's getting the sources from the teams and the management and the owners, or just some sort of source that indicates that this is actual type of true headlines, really. Um, so we have to consider those particular reports being actual truth when it comes down to the circumstances of what we are seeing, what we're reading, what we're hearing from Shams Charania and the situation with Darvin Ham losing the Lakers locker room. And we just tell by the the frustrations. Obviously, we saw from LeBron leaving the arena and Austin Reeves, expressing his frustration. Anthony Davis as well. So, when you have those particular players speaking out, it just shows that there's some indications that Darvin Ham is on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat for of his job being removed from him. So, it's just a tough situation. It really is. And my hope is now that Darvin Ham gets his act together, sees what's the problem, and hopefully starts to fix it. Because if he doesn't want to lose his job, he needs to fix it. He needs to fix this situation that we are in as Laker fans, seeing the Lakers losing games since the NBA season tournament, and not showing the type of expectations that we were wanting to see from this team heading into this NBA season, being contenders in the Western Conference, and now with them falling into 500 under 500 with this 17-18 record, it just shows you that this is a tough situation. The Lakers are within the 10th seed in the Western Conference, and there's some indications that if a team wins the NBA season tournament cup, it guarantees them a playoff spot. So it could be a type of situation where things may be good for the Lakers if somehow it reigns true, if they somehow still remain eligible to compete for a playoff run or play in the play-in, for the playoffs. So that's good news there if that is a guarantee. But at the same time, I would like the Lakers to have a better situation within the standings if they have the capabilities of pulling it off. But it's just a tough situation. So, and now with trades, the Lakers cannot make any trades at the moment. We don't really see a lot of trades happening in the month of January, but obviously the Lakers did that last year for Rui Hachimura. But I just don't see a trade happening very soon for the Lakers in the month of January. So the expectation is to wait until February to potentially make that happen. So, but yeah, it's a tough situation, and Lakers management have to see what's the best for the team, and maybe hopefully make a decision. And it's going to be very interesting for us to watch how that all goes down for the Los Angeles Lakers. So. Saw a comment here from Adam. Welcome to the live stream. Really appreciate it. I mean, unfortunately, I usually show my face, but unfortunately, I'm still having camera issues with my Wi-Fi connection. So it's a tough situation on my part now. But I'm still giving you guys the consistency and the dedication. So if I'm not able to show my face, and my apologies at the moment, but I'm still dealing with the Wi-Fi issues. So if you entered this live stream from the beginning, you saw my face, but it was blurry, still having issues there. But I think this is all right. I mean, you all can hear my voice, and hopefully it's not cutting out or anything like that, but I'm doing my best. So let's just read your comment, Adam. I think there's 3 guys that should be starting that aren't: Austin, Rui, and Woods. Austin Reeves did start for the Lakers in the last game. Obviously, Darvin Ham probably listened to Voice of Reason and decided to have Austin Reeves play in the starting lineup. Rui is still dealing with an injury, so I think, if you have to replace anybody, maybe Taurean Prince is a guy that could be replaced in the starting lineup. But for Woods to be in the starting lineup, I mean, maybe at the center position or maybe the power forward. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that is interesting of how his fit on the starting lineup could potentially work. But at the moment, I think his place is better off suited coming off the bench, because we saw some success out of him when he's given the minutes that he deserves, and when he does give us some solid numbers and shooting as well. So I don't see him potentially starting for the Lakers, but Austin Reeves, Rui, they're realistic for me being in the starting lineup. I mean, Rui could potentially replace Torian Prince, in that particular position, or maybe Cam Reddish. So you have a starting lineup of LeBron James, Rui, LeBron, Austin Reeves, Rui. Then you have Anthony Davis. Or you could potentially add on Jared Vanderbilt in the starting lineup. But I think the combinations of Rui and Jared Vanderbilt as a team, teammates in the starting lineup doesn't really work out. But, once again, I think Darvin Ham has to experiment with the starting lineup once again. Obviously, as I said, this is his 10th change in the starting lineup. So, it is a tough situation that what he has to deal with for sure, because obviously injuries played a big role of the Lakers' bad success so far this season. But at the same time, when the reports are out there that he is losing the starting lineup, the Lakers locker room, that alone shows you that his job is on the line and his job is in jeopardy to potentially get fired if you're losing the team. So, I mean, you lost, you probably lost LeBron's, because of how he left the Lakers game yesterday. So that alone, the guy who is the face of your franchise in the NBA, for that to happen, that tells you right there, shows you that he is pissed. So, he is showing his frustration for sure. And we already know about the Austin Reeves post-game interview. I mean, he showed his frustrations for sure. He is angry. So when you have that being the problem, then Darvin Ham could potentially lose his job because of it. And once you lose the locker room, you're not going to see a lot of production. You're not going to see a lot of players, wanting to play for the head coach, and they could potentially just lose out of frustration out of the coach. And in the professional level, it could happen. I mean, obviously you won't see that from college players or high school players, but it is a situation where professionally they don't really care of how the head coach either loses his job or not because of how he's treating them. So, or showing that type of lack of connection with the team. So, but yeah, I mean, I really appreciate your comment, Adam. And that it seems that Rui being in the starting lineup does help the Lakers at times. We saw that a couple of times. So when he was starting, but he's dealing with an injury at the moment. But my hope is that he has a speedy recovery and returns very soon, because he is needed on this team for sure. Let's read more about your comment. I say we fire Ham and hire Mark Jackson. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Mark Jackson as part of my coaching candidates. This is the question that I put up. Which coaching candidates should the Lakers target to replace Darvin Ham? And I mentioned a couple of names. I mentioned Mark Jackson. Even though I did mention about it, the fact that he hasn't still found a job yet at the head coaching level after being out since 2016, 2015, being the head coach for the Golden State Warriors, where he was laying the foundation of the Golden State Warriors. He just haven't got an opportunity since. And it's unfortunate because he's a really good head coach, a guy who developed Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I mean, just basically laying the foundation of the Golden State Warriors to become one of the best franchises in the NBA, and it's all credit to him. We all still talk about it, and if he just somehow joins the Lakers as the head coach, maybe things will turn out better and the team chemistry will work. But at this moment, I don't really see it happening. That's why I mentioned a guy like Doc Rivers. I personally think Doc Rivers can honestly really fit with this team, especially he has a great relationship with LeBron, and the chemistry that he can obviously bring to this Lakers locker room would obviously let them have this type of energy that we are missing. And just if he's in that type of situation, I think maybe the Lakers will have success. I personally like Doc Rivers as a coach and what he's done so far throughout his coaching career. He's a former champion, former coach of the year, and just showed how well he coached with the Clippers as having winning records, and with the 76ers. I mean, it just shows you that this guy can coach and can rally the troops to help you win games. So he has the capability, and I think that's what Doc Rivers could deliver to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think he's number one on my list. Maybe the second one would be Mike Budenholzer, former head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's a champion, and he had some really good success throughout his career, especially with the Milwaukee Bucks, developing players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, and just having that type of chemistry that he built with that particular team. So Mike Budenholzer comes to mind when it comes down to that. Like I said, I want Doc Rivers as my number one candidate. But if you have to go with the second option, I go with Mike Budenholzer. And then, there's obviously Mark Jackson for sure. So most people will prefer Mark Jackson, but I personally think Doc Rivers is a guy that could obviously fit with this Lakers team as the new head coach if it does happen. But like I said from the beginning of this live stream, I don't see the Lakers potentially firing Darvin Ham anytime soon, unless it continues to if the Lakers continue to lose games and the chemistry of the team continues to diminish, then you could potentially see him getting fired mid-season for sure. But I think the Lakers will not look for a new head coach right away. I think they will potentially have Phil Handy replace Darvin Ham as the head coach for the team. So I just see that potentially happening when it comes down to it. Phil Handy could potentially be the guy to replace Darvin Ham as the next head coach, maybe just to coach for the rest of the season. And then the Lakers will look for a new head coach in the offseason if they do decide to fire Darvin Ham. And, I also need to mention Darvin Ham is still under contract for 2 years. So, he signed a 4-year deal. So, it's possibilities of him, still sticking around for maybe like another year is a possibility. I mean, we're not even sure what the Lakers will do to potentially, give the status of Darvin Ham when it comes down to his job security. But like I said, if Shams Charania is reporting this report that he's losing the team and losing the disconnect from the team at locker room, then that's red flags right there for sure. So but yeah, I really appreciate Adam for your comment. Thank you again. If Rui replaces Prince, I would be happy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, what you mentioned before, when it comes down to it, Prince has not been living up to the expectations that we've been looking for out of him. So it's unfortunate that he is continuously, showing the lack of shooting, lack of offensive abilities. I mean, and even defense too, as a guy that we thought that he would be the 3-and-D caliber guy that we were looking for. But for some reason, he hasn't been really living up to that since he was started for the Lakers. So, My thing is that maybe Rui will be the next guy to replace him, or maybe Jared Vanderbilt. Because those were the three guys that were supposed to fill in that spot, and Jared Vanderbilt was the guy that the Lakers were going to potentially fill in that power forward next to, or maybe as the big next to Anthony Davis. So that was the priority going into this NBA season. But obviously, Jared Vanderbilt got injured in the preseason, and it was only Rui Hachimura and Torian Prince. But obviously, we saw how Torian Prince lit it up in the preseason, averaging 47% from the three and really putting out some decent numbers. And I think there's a YouTube shorts that I made about his amazing run that he did in the preseason. So if you guys want to go check it out, I'd really appreciate it. But that obviously won him the job, and he deserved it at the time. But now, since the NBA season, he hasn't been living up to the expectations and the shooting efforts that we wanted to see. Even though, when you look at the numbers, he's giving us around 39 to 40% from the threes. So it's just, I guess, the consistency we're not seeing from him is obviously giving us the reason for Darvin Ham to bench Torian Prince and maybe have Jared Vanderbilt or Rui to be in the starting lineup. And like I said, Rui is still dealing with an injury, so that's why I'm mentioning Jared Vanderbilt. But personally, I like Jared Vanderbilt. His defense will help this team, especially in the starting lineup. So, and for him to just carry the load off of Anthony Davis to him have the MVP caliber game that he's been putting up for these past couple of games. So, we obviously need the help defensively, and that's what Jared Vanderbilt can do for sure. But Rui did help out the team at times when he was starting for the Lakers. So, either way, Rui or Jared Vanderbilt, they will be great replacements for Torian Prince if Darvin Ham decides to bench him for the next game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So, but yeah, I mean, this is the circumstances. What we are hearing so far from the Los Angeles Lakers from Shams Charania of the Athletic, that Darvin Ham is, has some disconnect from the Lakers locker room. So indications now that he is on the hot seat potentially and could be replaced and be fired. With the new head coach. And like I mentioned, the type of candidates that I think the Lakers will target or maybe replace temporarily. First, it could be Phil Handy to replace him temporarily as the next head coach for the Lakers, and just for him to coach for the rest of the season for the Lakers, and somehow they'll look for a new head coach in the off season, or maybe they just find one right away. You never know. Maybe they'll hire Doc Rivers or Mike Budenholzer or maybe Mark Jackson. I mean, that could be a possibility. So those are the three guys that I've been hearing so far. But I think Doc Rivers is a guy that I think maybe the Lakers will potentially look at to potentially replace Darvin Ham as the next head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, when you have a good relationship with LeBron and, having a good reputation as a, coach that is revered throughout the NBA, that just right there shows you the type of respect and leadership that you can obviously bring into to the locker room. And I think that's what the Lakers chemistry is lacking because of the lack of connection that Darvin Ham is, missing from this team. So, but yeah, I mean, I really want to know your thoughts. We're probably going to hear a lot of news about it in the next couple of days or something. So, if you guys want to, stay tuned. Please hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Once again, my apologies again for not showing my face in this live stream. Is because I'm still dealing with a Wi-Fi issue, and I just got a new Wi-Fi, and I'm not sure what's going on with the Wi-Fi that is having right now. So I have to go check it out and maybe resolve it. But if this continues to be this way, you'll probably still see this in your live stream when it comes down to it. But at least I'm reporting the news and giving you guys the information that's out there regarding the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to news, rumors, updates, speculations. So, I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to every single one of you when it comes to everything about the Los Angeles Lakers on ZLN on YouTube. And if you guys want more for ZLN, please follow me all across social media: Facebook, Instagram, X. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this live stream so you guys can check me out. And, of course, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because I do go live for Lakers post-game shows. And if you guys will notice in the beginning of this live stream, I did start off my regular intro, but I mentioned post-game shows. And it's unfortunate because I should have been prepared of what I had to say before I started this live stream. But it was about, Darvin Ham being on the hot seat at the moment. And, until things change, he's going to have that, running over his head, around his head. And, Lakers obviously need to make a decision. And if that means they have to fire Darvin Ham because of the Lakers' woes and what they're going through right now, then it could be a possibility. And that's sad reality, but Lakers have a goal. And our goal is the Lakers are going to compete in the Western Conference and reach the playoffs. And that's been the expectations since the offseason. So and with the moves that we made, it was going to that trajectory for sure. But since the NBA season tournament, the Lakers haven't been themselves. And I think it's because of Darvin Ham and his bad rotations and the bad starting lineups. And it's maybe the main reason that he is in the hot seat because of it. So, just we're obviously going to moderate this situation that we are dealing with when it comes to this particular report. If anything new comes about, make no mistake, I will be delivering the information to you all on this this channel, ZLN, and of course all over social media. So please stay tuned, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me all across social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course I'm on Threads and TikTok. So please stay tuned for more news, rumors, updates, speculations about the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'll see you all in the next live stream and the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.